Hi everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada, and you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. It's Monday night and I've been jumping on Monday nights to do some memory keeping. So I've said this every week, I think. It's been really fun to start back into scrapbooking, which is where I started. Well, actually, I guess I was making cards many years ago, but then I moved over to scrapbooking, and then I moved back to making cards, and so kind of it's now fun to mix the two together, and it's been fun to see what I can do with some of the Stampin' Up! Regular cardstock and designer series paper. I've been playing with some of the kits as well, but it is fun just to pull out some cardstock, 12 by 12 cardstock, and some paper. Now I want to talk a little bit about, there is a new designer series paper release. Stampin' Up! Has brought back 3 different designer series paper from the past and has recolored it. And so the one I'm going to use tonight is called Serene Love. I'll show it to you. It's in Night of Navy, which works perfectly with what I'm going to scrapbook tonight. Lost Lagoon, there's another color, Old Olive. Some really pretty paper. I don't actually remember this one, but they have recolored it. There's a couple of other ones as well, so if you haven't seen this yet, make sure you check it out because it's really fun, especially if you really love some of the other paper. There's one that was Something Beauty, and it was all in Blackberry Bliss and gold, and it's been brought back in some really fun Melon Mambo and Lemon Lime Twist and some really fun colors. All right, so I'm going to use the Serene Love. I believe that's what I decided it was, Serene Love paper, and I'm going to scrapbook. I'm going to do a double layout of some pictures that I took at my weaving retreat was it just last week or the week before? I guess it was the week before last. I was away for 3 days over on Salt Spring Island. So if you don't know, I live on Vancouver Island, which is the big island just off the mainland of British Columbia. And there's a whole bunch of little tiny islands, Gulf Islands, in between the Vancouver Island and the mainland. And the biggest of those is Salt Spring. And I go over to Sayori Salt Spring, I've been twice now for a weaving retreat, and I just absolutely love it. It's so amazing. So if you haven't, I do Sayori weaving, which is kind of weaving from the heart, no rules, no right, no wrong. And so I can just it's kind of like card making. You can just do whatever you want with your card making, and throw in some different colors, and it's very fun. And so this is one of my scarves. I didn't make this at the retreat. I had made this just before, but some of the pictures are of some of the things we did at the retreat. All right, I'm going to switch over and we'll get started on this double layout. If you are joining me, please let me know where you're coming in from. I'm not seeing anyone quite yet. Also, I see people watching. So comment and let me know you're there. All right, so this is the paper. You might recognize this one. This one I absolutely do recognize it. It's just so pretty. So this is the one that is in white and Night of Navy. So this is one side, and the other side are the stripes I'm using. That's the piece I'm using. So that's the full piece, and then I've already cut up part of that. And then there's this one in Night of Navy, so a kind of more all over pattern, and just a really pretty background pattern. And then, like I said, it's also in Lost Lagoon. A little bit different background on that one. This one just slightly different, and then kind of little tiny diamonds, not polka dots, diamonds in Lost Lagoon. And then this one is in Old Olive. So some flowers, and on the backgrounds, these are definitely polka dots. And then some all over tiny little daisies. And on the background of that one is a diagonal stripe. So some really pretty paper. Okay, so let's bring in, so on my Monday night, I do I'm gonna bring this out. There we go. 2 double layouts. And I am a pretty basic scrapbooker. I will say that. So I tend to use, just trying to bring the other pieces in. I tend to use similar layouts So this, I'm going to use one piece of designer series paper and one piece of Night of Navy, and then I have cut, this piece is 6 inches by 12 inches, so it's going to curl across the middle. And I think I've used this layout before. Like I said, I tend to use similar layouts. And then this piece is going to go across like that. So that's another piece of Night of Navy, but that is 6 inches by 12 inches as well. So kind of mirroring, reverse mirror, I guess, the two pieces. So to start with, I am just going to glue these on. Take that one out of the way. So this is 12 by 12. This is just the regular 12 by 12 cardstock. It's not the two-tone. We don't have all the colors in two-tone yet. Okay, so I like to use my glass mat or grid paper. So if I get my 12 by 12 piece lined up, then I can put this. So let's see, that is 12. This is 6. Uh-oh, did I cut this? Maybe I cut this too. Yeah, 6 1/4. All right, this is wider, so that's okay. We'll just make sure we leave it so it's in the middle. I thought this was 6, so I need this to be just below 4. Oh, hang on, get it. Roughly in half. There we go. So that can go across like that. I got a little bit of glue, but we'll cover that up. So that's one piece. And then this one, I do know is 6 by 6. This paper is just so pretty. So you can actually, this paper is perfect. Some of these big flowers, you can actually do some colorings. Take your Stampin' Blends and do some coloring with these. So this one is going to be just slightly smaller. So I'm going to line this piece up and just make sure I kind of get it in the middle there. So it's, when they're lined up, they will be. One's going to be slightly bigger than the other, slightly wider, but you probably won't notice too badly. There we go. So those are the two layouts. And let's bring in some of the pictures that I have. This is Berry Burst. So I've cut a bunch of mats in Berry Burst, and I've got some extra pieces here. So let's bring that in. This is the little studio on Salt Spring where we go. It's just lovely little walkway. It was very foggy the first day that we were there. That's not the piece. And so just so pretty in the woods, the little studio in the woods. So that's that one. I didn't go ahead and mat these. I've got the mats cut. So this is myself and my friend Jillian, who I was with. This is a different scarf that I had on, but this is the second piece I made and the second scarf that Jillian made. This is the second retreat we've been on, and we have such fun when we go. So I hope we're going to be able to do it again. So normally I mat my pictures, but I didn't get them done. So this is Berry Burst, and the way I mat is I get the picture cut to the size I want. So I'm just kind of trimming the picture to get, you know, the parts of it that I want in. And then I measure it and I add 1/4 of an inch on top and side to figure out what size the mat is. So this picture was 3 3/4 by 5 1/2. And so my mat is 4 inches by 5 3/4. And the same with this one. I trimmed this picture. So the picture ended up being 3 3/4 by 4 1/2. And so my mat is 4 inches by 4 3/4. So I don't cut to the exact. I mean, if you wanted to cut your pictures all to the same size, you can do that. And that's probably a better thing to do is if you're doing a layout and you don't actually have pictures yet, oops, it's probably better to create some mats that are kind of standard size. So maybe 4x4, 4x6, something like that, so that when you do find your pictures, you can actually it's easier to mat them. So this was the first scarf that I made, and this is kind of the inspiration for the color, because my first scarf was in like Night of Navy and Berry Burst and a little bit of Pretty in Pink, and some Melon Mambo. Some of it was kind of wild. This is the fun part of Saori weaving, is you can do whatever you want. So we made some art yarn, which is here. So let's see, where'd it go to? So we made some art yarn. So you can see this was mine. I kind of had a different kind of, I don't know, I usually do more neutrals, but this particular 3 days I seem to be gravitating to some very bright colors, which made us all kind of chuckle, because Jillian ended up with quite neutral colors. In fact, her art yarn in this picture is this neutral one on the side that's hard to see, and then the instructor Terry's was this Terry Loves Blue. So she had a little bit of pink in there, but mostly blue. And so that's not my typical color palette, so it was kind of fun. So we'll get these matted. Now I made a warp, so when you weave through, the long threads are called a warp, and then all the threads that you put into that warp, that you weave into that, are called the weft. Funny names. So the warp, so I made a warp, and again this one tended to be, so it's kind of got some Highland Heather, and then some maybe kind of like a Blackberry Bliss in there. So I definitely was on the color palette of brighter colors. So we'll see what that one looks like when I get it done. And then the last picture, this is the scarf, the second scarf I made, and it's not at all in these colors, but because I just wanted to show all of the pieces, it's getting matted on the same. Okay, so we've got everything matted, and so we're just going to take and then just kind of audition them where you think you want. So I was going to start with this lovely picture of the studio in the woods, and then I thought I would kind of make the focal point this. Let's see, maybe something like that. There we go. So pretty simple to layer them. So I just kind of figure out where it is that I want them to go. And then I pulled some other pieces. So this is some extra of the, this is the stripe. The stripes go in the opposite way, but I thought I would use some of the bigger pieces. And so I was just going to take and cut some banners. So I've got 2 here, and I'm just going to cut up from the middle and then cut across, oops, and create some little banners that we'll use. So I've got 4 of these, so let's make 4 of those banners. Put those. Yeah, it's okay. So let's see what we've got here. I'm just going to trim. So one of these is longer than the other, like that. And then okay, let's move those down a little bit. We'll cover the top up. There we go. I may have to rearrange this because now I've got things going. I might do that. Anyway, okay. And then let's do the same with this one. Let me put them in the middle. So it's going to go there. And we'll put these maybe like this. Like I said, my goal is quick and easy, so better done than not done. So let's do kind of like that. Maybe like that. I'm okay overlapping pictures. So maybe we'll do it something like that. Like I said, I do things fairly simple. So let's take these. My goal is to get these done as opposed to having like these pictures. Haven't been around too long because this was, like I said, it was only a couple of weeks ago. I was going to do the tea that we went to on Sunday, but I had done these, printed these pictures out a week or so ago, or for last week actually, and then I wasn't able to go live. So I thought I would use these this week, and then next week I will do the layout from the tea at the Pendray house that I went to on Saturday with my team. All right, I'm missing comments on Facebook. Sorry about that. Pictures I took. Yep. I did, some of these I took, some of them Terry took, but so it's a bit of a combination. This one is just so pretty. I did not take this picture. Terry took this picture on the first day. It was so foggy the first day. And then after that, it was an absolutely gorgeous day. Hey, Karen, welcome. So the art yarn that we made, I don't know if you can see, I actually cut it. So this is my art yarn, the fuzzy pink one. So I actually cut it into 3 pieces and wove it in to my scarf because I really liked the look of it. So one of the things I love the most about Saori is that you can weave whatever you want in. So some of the stuff I did when I first started, I had Stampin' Up! Ribbon, I had raffia, I had all sorts of things woven in to my pieces. So I know some of you probably scrapbook a lot and probably do it very some very detailed and beautiful scrapbook pages. I am much simpler when it comes to scrapbooking. But for me, it's about getting the pieces done. Lining those 2 up. So I am so excited. I don't know about you guys, but I am so excited that the mail is going back. They're going back to work tomorrow, so we can start mailing things again. I think Thursday is what I heard. So that's exciting. I don't imagine if presents are in the mail, I don't imagine they'll get there for Christmas, but hopefully they're not too far behind Christmas. It's been really weird not having our mail for 4 weeks. Okay. Getting there. Find some more dimensionals. We'll cut another one on there. We'll cut the outside and use all the scraps here. Don't throw those away. Oh, there's another one. That's for that one. Yeah, you know, I think many people got burned out, and if you think about scrapbooking, it's like, oh my gosh, I've got to do this year and this year, or this trip and this trip. And I think the fun part now is just to pull out, you know, a handful of pictures to tell a bit of a story. So every week I have been choosing a different group of pictures. And I will go back because I do want to do the scrapbook for the incentive trip that I went on to Mexico. So I'm working gradually at it. But I'm okay just kind of working, you know, do a layout or two at a time. And then I go on to something else. And that way I'm not focusing and thinking, oh my gosh, I've got to do all of this. Okay, so, oopsie. I went ahead and, let's do this. I went ahead and used, I had already cut, these are the playful alphabet dies that I had cut. You cut out an entire alphabet with some multiple letters. And so I went ahead and pulled out, I had enough letters to do Sayori Retreat. And it's kind of backwards, but I'm going to cut this apart. So these are cut out, they're just cut out in white, basic white cardstock, and I put them on, they're about what did I say they were? They're about a ½ an inch tall. And then I just kind of put them side by side. So my piece of berry burst is about 7/8 of an inch wide. And so I just glued them on so that you didn't have to watch me doing that. So I'm just going to take those, and I am going to pop them up as well, just so that there's a title on my page. And I'm going to put some pieces of, just some basic white pieces of cardstock on. I'm going to put a date. And I'm also, I'm going to do a little bit of stamping, I think. I pulled a stamp out that I think will work for this. My goal, like I said, is to get it done. And so when I'm done this, I will take a picture of it, and then it's going to go into my album. Sayori. You know, I do that every time. Darn. Melva. I've done that more than once. I put a dimensional on it. I'm going to have to work at getting that off. I put dimensionals on it, and then I go and put it down right on top of a picture. So I will have to work at getting that off. Now I need some more dimensionals. I have to remember not to take the backings off the dimensionals before I actually start to do something with it. So before this goes in the album and before a picture gets taken, and I got glue in my fingers, I will get those dimensionals off. Right, there we go. Okay, now what else do I want to do? I did, I pulled out, this is the Snow Day stamp set that goes with, or kind of coordinates with the Snow Day Memories and More kit and the Snow Day. Yeah, Marilyn, I did think about that, and I actually probably will add some. Marilyn said, yeah, have you got some of your yarns you made and you could add them? And I didn't think about that until just before I went live, but I think I will add some yarn to this as well. So this is a stamp set. So this Magical Moments is definitely fits because it just, Sayori for me is just kind of these magical moments. And then What Fun. So I thought I would just do a couple of, there's my piece, a couple of stamped sentiments. So even though this is really intended to be a Christmas stamp, it just goes to show that you can use the sentiments for all sorts of occasions or events. Okay, so here's one of my pieces that I've cut that's 1/2 inch. I don't want to lose that one because I'm going to put a date on this. So I'm just going to take and cut that one straight across. See if I can do it fairly straight across. All right, so there's a couple of sentiments, and I do need some more. All right, here's some. See if I can do this without sticking the dimensionals down and getting them stuck to pictures. I think they stick to pictures really well. I think it's probably the glossy finish on my pictures that causes them to stick. All right, so let's keep those in my fingers. I want that one for a minute. And Magical Moments. I think I'll just put that right in the middle. There we go. Okay, and then this was the piece I was going to take, and I've got my basic black Stampin' Write marker. And so if I remember the dates correctly, it was December 4th to 6th, 2024. Salt Spring, Sayori, which is the name of the studio. I have got glue. All right, we're just going to glue this flat. And I'm going to glue it right underneath my picture of the studio. So that's just a piece of basic white scrap, and I will clean that up. And then I will see about adding some yarn when I manage to find it. So there we go. Now the last thing I wanted to, I'm going to use, these are the adhesive backed purple sequins. These are one of the items that you can get for free during Celebration. So these are free with a $75 purchase, and they are in Berry Burst and look like Highland Heather, and then like bubble bath, and then white, kind of iridescent. And so I thought I was looking for an embellishment, and these work perfectly because they coordinate so nicely. And you can put as many as you want on. Sometimes I kind of like to fill some space with them. I'll leave some space for Marilyn's idea about the yarn. And I think that's probably okay for now. I may add some more, but I've just added some little sequences, but we'll coordinate it with the yarn that I put on. So there we go. There is my story, quick and easy story of my weaving retreat. So like I said, my goal with all of this is to actually get this done in about no more than an hour for a double layout. So I spent probably about 15 minutes sorting the pictures out. I have a little Canon selfie printer, and so I can print out individual ones. So I just kind of went through my pictures and printed some out and then cut them. And then probably about 20 minutes or so just kind of figuring out. Like I said, I tend to go back to the same kind of layout often over and over again, like I do with my cards. I tend to go back to using the same layout for a card when I'm stumped, because I just kind of gravitate to the same. And so it's easy, it makes it easy, and you can change it up by changing up the paper and the embellishments and the colors of it. So there we go. That's my scrapbook page or double layout for tonight. I will take some pictures of it, and it'll go on a blog post in the next week or so. I will be live again tomorrow night at 6:30 with a sketch for you, and also on Wednesday night. Gosh, Wednesday night will be Christmas from a week, so it'll be a week to Christmas on Wednesday night, but I will be live Wednesday night at 6:30 with a technique, so come and join me then. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me. Hope you have a great evening.